Hey guys, Tarek here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Langreskaya. Today spawning in the north, we've got Skeletron. I think it's Ostheer in his loadout. Well, straight away locking into defensive here. Putting himself a squad of Ostheer. Kind of interesting, you know, the spawning options you have on a map like this. See, like this is one of the spawn points and this is another one. And these guys are able to run, you know, quite directly into some capture points. Looks like he's sending the pies over to cap here, but you know, with some maps like these call-in infantry squads can do some interesting capping options, maybe even slightly faster than running there from the base. So yeah, it's just something to consider. Anyway, next one against him is Scoped playing his US forces, and straight away locking into Recon support. In terms of rankings, Skeletron around rank 90. Scoped around the mid-50s US forces. So 3 Ostheer start here for Skeletron, and kind of like illustrating the real strength of these Ostheer starts. And look how many squads on the field compared to Scoped. Looks like Scoped trying to go for a fast officer, so not starting an extra rifle squad. Did end up getting suppressed by this machine gun trying to crawl out. Ostheer chasing, but does make it around the corner. The machine gun in this building, you know, it's pretty easy to hold on to. The right hand side of the map, quite hard to outmaneuver that. Volley fire activated for Scope. This is a bold choice. Just a long range slow firefight over here. Ostheer versus rifles. Pretty close fight there. Oh, actually gets the suppression on. Can he now follow that up with a win? Doesn't look like it. Stroke pushing in. Oh, these riflemen came across all the way across here to assist in this fight. Somewhat unexpected. And you can see now that the Ostheer are on this side of the building, the riflemen behind this cover are not actually in a position to fire at them. So they weren't contributing any damage down the home straight there of the engagement. So yeah, fast lieutenant here from Scoped, and he's following that up with a 50 cal. Personally, I haven't played against too many Ostheer strategies. You know, I don't play the game like that much. Stream, you know, about 6 hours a week of it. But I have heard that team weapon spam is pretty effective against it. So maybe that's what Scope's going for here, like a double 50 cal strategy to help contain the Ostheer. We're actually seeing a 4th squad of Ostheer called in as well. It's a lot. Usually we'd see a squad of Panzer Grenadiers instead at this stage. Something like that. Scope actually going for an M20 after the 50 cal. Looks like, did he cancel the 50 and then restart it? Lieutenant, oh, goes down.
We just lost a unit.
They retreat there from Scopes, and that's costly. He's way behind now, making a deep maneuver here, coming all the way around the side, going for the fuel point. But yeah, the M20 at this timing is a little bit risky, you know, up against Ostheer. And one of the real reasons why it's so strong is you get off to such a strong start. You don't have to build your tier 1 tech structure before running onto the map. You start capping the map straight away. You skip the cost of the tier 1 tech structure, and that can lead to some very, very fast light vehicle play. So going for the M20, which, you know, doesn't perform terribly well against the 222, is very risky. And I probably wouldn't advise it against an Ostheer strategy like this. However, for Skeletron, hasn't got his tech down yet, has completed the battle phase. But yeah, you see the M20 is going to be coming in. 222 is not going to be too far behind, so he's got to really maximize that time. Scoped in a little bit of trouble here. Did manage to branch out and actually connect the fuel down this far right hand side, because pushing into these squads behind or inside the buildings, he's just got no effective way to do that right now. So I think this was a wise move to branch out to this side. But ultimately, you know, he's probably going to get forced off here and disconnected. So he does need to make some headway on this side. And yeah, the M20 can slowly chip away at these units, but it's kind of just stalling for time, allowing the 222 to arrive. Also, kind of strange that he goes for Pathfinders in this situation. Generally, I'm not a fan of like Jaeger Lights or Pathfinders, those units with scoped rifles. Against like 6 model squads, I feel like you just don't get very good value out of them. And especially dangerous at this kind of timing, where he's going to need to contend against some light vehicles, and Pathfinders can't help at all against light vehicles. And oh boy, diving straight in on the M20 here. Neither of the riflemen have AT grenades here either, so this could be a chase all the way to base. Squad not even that close to V1. 222 diving in. Decides to pull back at a very strange moment there, and that's going to allow the M20 to arrive. Big mistake from Skeletron. Oh no, ambulance coming in. Is he going to spot this? No, he's pulling back at just the wrong time. I'm just going to sneak by there. Second 222 is in. That is something you have to contend with a lot more often against these Ostheer style stunts. Double light vehicles. A very nice option, especially in this case up against the M20. Generally not super effective against US Forces Lieutenant starts because the Stuart is still very good against double 222s, but if you hit like a super early timing like this, you can bully the US player off the battlefield. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Going for a half track as well. I think that's maybe a little bit too much. Double 222s I feel already very strong. Should be able to inflict enough bleed with those. And triple light vehicles like that, it's an all or nothing strategy, you know? If your opponent manages to counter it, it's going to slow down your progress towards a medium tank and can set you back quite far. Oh, AT grenade coming through. But you could just win the game on the spot. Langreskaya reward action. Okay, well he's going for another 222. I think I might have actually played against Skeletron doing a strategy kind of like this. Now that I think about it. It did take me a while to fight back. I think it was, yeah, he was playing Ostheer just like this. As soon as my first medium hit the battlefield, he kind of collapsed. Stuart coming in for scope though, very good option against these kind of light vehicles. Skeletron with no pack. I mean, you know, with the right facing direction on the Stuart's got such good frontal armor. 222's not terribly effective, so as long as the 222's don't get on the rear of the Stuart, it should be very, very effective. Flamer coming in, forcing back the 50 cal, but here comes the Stuart. And that could be the end of the Flamer half track. A little bit more damage. There it goes. Oh, 222 finds the M20. M20 in a bit of trouble.
Ready for action.
Gets around the corner there. Oh, 222 forgotten about up here. Stuart could go hunting. I'm still chasing him. He's trying to go for some forward repairs there, and that could be the end. No, Stuart not chasing in, and oh, big damage on the wrong side of cover. Nearly loses that rifle squad. 222's doing some damage to the base bunkers, but they don't really have enough armor to be taking those down. It seems like Skeletron having a bit of trouble controlling this many light vehicles at once. But he is in a very nice position. Triple cap, most of the map under his control.
300 points remaining.
And yeah, you know, you've seen Skeletron make good use of these buildings so far, which is why it's so popular these days to put some wire down early on in the match on this door if you're from the south spawn. Really help those early game scenarios out. Harder for your opponent to access, and then if they do get in there, much more dangerous on retreats. Really nice early moves on this map. Okay, chasing in after the M20, double 222s, going hunting. Ostheer coming through, threatening the Faust. M20 very low, but smoking out. Faust going to connect with the Stewart. But overall, not getting too much damage done here. Oh, Snare coming through on one of these. Very, very low now. As the Stewart gets the engine back online, could go chasing for that one. Skeletron has invested into another Pioneer. Also with the flamethrower, so going to have slightly faster repairs. Scope once again on the wrong side of cover. Takes a good chunk of damage. Pathfinder's jumping into the building. Kind of just stalling for time. Oh, there we go. Stewart on the rear of the 222. Misses that shot. Stewart just bullying these 222s here. As I said, unless they get onto his rear armor, it's not going to be super threatened. And this is costing a lot of repairs for Skeletron, whereas Scoped jumps the vehicle crew out and he's back and ready to go. Skeletron starting to fall apart a little bit here. He had a strong start, especially helped by Scope losing that lieutenant too easily. But now he's just running out of micro, it seems, to control all these units effectively. Scope going for another 50 cal, also a very solid option against the 222s. Such good penetration. Can really bully those Ostheer light vehicles. Oh, going to take a Faust here. Okay, he's going all the way up. Battle phase 3 for Skeletron. Is a lot more popular with these Ostheer strategies since you can give your Ostheer LMGs. Which is another good... Oh, Scope going for the Greyhound. Okay, interesting. Not going to try stall for medium. He's just had no resources. He's going to fight light vehicles with light vehicles. The thing about the Greyhound though, it is a lot more vulnerable. 222s doesn't have nearly as good armor as the Stewart, so he's going to have to be quite careful with it. Oh man, this vehicle crew from the Stewart went walkabouts, didn't it? Kind of lucky that Skeletron not really playing aggressively here, just out back repairing, building his tech, stalling for time here. Scope pushing in from multiple angles now.
Weapon rack is now accessible.
Okay, 50 cal supporting this push, getting the suppression on there. Stewart leading the charge. Greyhound behind it. No machine gun upgrade yet on the Greyhound though. And Skeletron having a bit of trouble hanging on here. These light vehicles pushing him around. This is such a bad time for him to be losing territory control. Right when he's, so close to getting out of tank. He really should build a AT gun at this stage. Well overdue. Bazooka's connecting. 222 in trouble. Can't get him destroys. No longer with the bonuses. Bazooka's connecting with another 222. Skeletron stubbornly refusing to build an AT gun here. Ooh. Oh, one of the 222s goes through the MG arc there. Ends up losing it. That's the 50 cal, the strength of it. Such good penetration, even without the AP ammo equipped. Scope forgets about this rifle on the far flank. Triple 222's gonna gang up and take that down.
Damn Krauts just wasted some of our riflemen.
So, kill for a kill there, but at the moment Scoped is just surging forwards in terms of territory control. Skeletron really just, as I said, losing control of his fuel at this point is just so horrendously bad. He needs an AT gun. The fact that he's refusing to get one is just horrendously bad. Oh man, that machine gun went down so quickly to the triple 222s, but in comes the Stewart. Pulls back, doesn't want to risk getting Fausted here, chain Fausted to death, and Skeletron does have the munitions for that. The Ostheer not much of a threat coming forwards like this. Very bad out of cover performance. Not very good on the move performance either. He's fully upgraded them with LMGs though. So in long range cover to cover fights they're decent. But at the moment they are struggling. Close call, one of them getting away. Very, very low in health. The squad also getting low. Forgotten about maybe. They are missing that one. Oh, but it went down to the vehicle crew. Maybe the Pathfinder's got it actually. They're critical. But yeah, the 222 can, you know, reasonably effectively trade against the Greyhound. As we can see here. Now Skeletron maybe somewhat working on a tag team here. Taking out the low health 222s and bringing in the high health one. 222 coming around the corner, but Stewart back in action. Oh boy. And the Greyhound finishes the job. Another 222 down. I think he wanted to come in for the steal on that 50, but 50 cal setup here covering the cutoff, denying that opportunity, and looks like maybe Scott going to come in with the Pathfinders to steal that. We did see some interesting Pathfinder on machine gun play from Huron Bartertown the other day. Yeah, strong option, especially on a map like Langreskaya, having that self-spawning ability for your machine gun. But we can see just how badly things have been going for Skeletron over the last couple minutes. Losing complete control. He's so close to a tank as well. Yeah, just 5 fuel away from the Brumbier, but it's been a painful last couple minutes. If he just got an AT gun, he would have been easily able to force back his triple light vehicles from scopes. Probably had a Brumbier out already. Instead, he's getting bullied all across the map. Faust connecting with the Stewart, but he's not going to be able to get the kill. No way. Making use of the raid tactics here. Strupen could go down. Rebuilt squad, freshly rebuilt. 20 and Greyhound come in. But that gets away, and the double 222's bullying the Greyhounds. Bazooka's leading the charge. M20 getting a little bit low, getting a little bit eager too, charging in. Bazooka's missing again. And a weapon drop in the base. Paratroopers and pack outs are coming through. And with that, he should finally be able to force this machine gun out of this building over here. It's been thwarting his attempts on this side the entire game so far. Yeah, you can see a Popcat lead now for Scoped, and it's about to get bigger once he cruises vehicles again. Maybe not. No, just a little bit. But in comes the Brumbier. And Scoped is not prepared for this. No AT gun, no captain. Brumbier going Stuart hunting here. Gets a nice connection too. AP ammo not terribly effective against the Stuart. Brumbier connects main gun crits. Can he get the kill on the Stuart here with the Brumbier? No, he's going to settle for dealing with this 50 cal instead. And that gets ripped to shreds.
We lost a gun crew.
About to lose this rifle potentially? No. Not going after it with the Brumbier, going after the squad inside the building. Very narrowly avoids them getting wiped. They're building on a pixel. Bazooka's coming in. That one model, only one bazooka firing. 222's going hunting for these low vehicles. A lot of low health vehicles for Scott, but they're all escaping at the moment. M20, maybe not. It's just not very good on the move, the Brumbier. Oh, there you go. It does go down to maybe the small arms, or maybe this 222 over here. But the other two out the side getting repaired up. Scott going for another re-echelon. I guess it's going to be re-echelon bazookas. Coming in looking for the kill on the Greyhound. Stuart exposing itself as well. 222 going to go down here. But the Faust should be able to finish the job. There goes the Greyhound. And Stuart in some trouble here. Is going to take a Faust with the Brumbier coming in for the follow-up. Stuart also going to fall here. Unfortunate about the main gun critical. Maybe could have defended himself somewhat otherwise.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
That's company of heroes.
Crowds are taking one of our
Trying to
points.
make his way out to the far flank again, unsuccessful. And yeah, it's a rough one going for RE bazookas against the Brumbier. AT guns are a much safer choice. But Scott has got the Major out, and he's not too far away from the Sherman if that's what he's hoping for.
The capture point is being
Gee, the
overrun.
building gets forced out by the pack alley, as I mentioned. And Scoped, he's not going to hang about. He's going to go for the Sherman. Another squad of Ostheer joining in for Skeletron. Seems like that's what he really wants. He's got 5 of them now. I do think at this position, you're up against a pack howitzer
Capture point is under attack.
and double machine guns. Having something that's better close range, better on the move, such as Panzergrenadier is a better option right now. And continuing to spam Ostheer.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Sector artillery dropped by Skeletron. Actually doing some damage to these units, not quite even in the sector.
Supply line just got cut off.
Pushing all the way into Scope's base here. Ambulance on the run. Bazookas connect big time on the Brumbier.
Supply line is cut. Germans are making a push.
Ooh, that's a big hit though. Here comes the Sherman looking for the follow-up. Penetrates on the front. Squad coming through for the Faust, but he needs another one to result in injured damage. Sherman connects on the front again. Skeletron a bit slow bringing these Ostheer across for his second Faust. Brumbier bounces that one. Sherman getting onto the rear armor. Brumbier in trouble. Spinning around. Oh, Sherman bounces again. Another Faust connecting. Could this be the end? Sherman needs to penetrate this last shot. Oh boy. Brumbier. Oh, doesn't quite get the kill. Wasn't a direct hit. And the Sherman gets the Brumbier kill. Probably going to go down to another Faust. But that's a pretty good trade for him. Brumbier significantly more expensive. Another squad of Ostheer coming in. Skeletron been losing quite a few of those, but he's still got a lot of manpower left in the tank. Pretty close to another Brumbier as well, if that's what he wants to go for. Scope meanwhile with lots of super low health squads after his ambulance got forced back there. Might want to try and conserve a bit of manpower here. And there's going to be another Brumbier. Scope down to 154 VPs. So needs to be aware of that. And he is, he's capped 2 points here. Much lower than that, and it'll be hard to make a comeback. Hasn't managed to upgrade these paras with weapons yet. It's just been so low on munitions to get all those bazookas instead. Could have, I suppose, put some bazookas on the paratroopers. They do get the elite bazookas. And in this commander as well, you can actually get that upgrade, where they come with camouflage and the ability to plant mines, which is quite nice to support paras. But most of the time people just go for the LMGs, and that's understandable. Oh, what happened to the Pakawi, by the way? I didn't mention that. It's decrewed over here. It's still available. Didn't get destroyed or anything. Oh, big shot from the Brumbier. A lot of low health units. Flamers trying to get the wipe, and they do. Bazooka on the ground. Bazooka's connecting with the Brumbier. Trying to evade the damage here. Switching from side to side. Avoids that shot though. Brumbier, he's going in. He's going in for the win. Picking up the wipe on these bazooka REs. That could be it. Scope's still a good chunk of fuel away from his next tank. Goes for the ambulance. Doesn't get it though. I think he should have been targeting the REs. They were pretty clumped up there. And that's Scope's last real form of anti-tank. Scope, yeah, as I said, could still go for the bazooka REs though. Need to force away these squad scopes. Trying to control the VPs. Brumbier not having that much success at the moment. Skeletron maybe not the best with targeting him. You see most of the top players putting it on a whole fire, then manually attack grounding most of their shots. More reliable way of doing it, especially if your enemy's units are on the move. Good connection there. 50 could be in trouble now as well. Oh, bazooka's on the rear here. We'll be going for a run around, trying to avoid getting snared on the way home by these rifles. Scope still, a good 20 fuel away from a Sherman. But he's about to connect this fuel on the far side, so maybe he can get something going here. So capping in the center. Doesn't know which way to face this machine gun. Threats from both directions. Here comes a Stug E from Skeletron. Very unusual choice here, going for a Stug E. If he's not too concerned about... Yeah, I'm supposed to just try and go for another Brumbier. He's not too concerned about enemy anti-tank. Or even a Panther's fine, put a machine gun on it. Just try and charge it in against things like the machine guns and the paras, so once Scope eventually does get a tank, you'll have something in response, and you might even be Vet 1 by then. And I went for the Stuggy. G goes down, Skeletron not paying attention. Paras up to Vet 2 without weapon upgrades. Kind of rare to see. Looks like Scope going for another squad of bazooka REs here. And they're shrugging off most of these hits so far. A good shot there from the Stug E. Echelon low retreating. Could go down. Brumbier chasing in. Gonna look for the wipe here. Oh, gets the crush on one. The machine gun finishes the job on the other. And he takes down the ambulance way out the back with the Brumbier. Sherman about to pop for scoped. Zukari's still doing their best. I think these guys... Oh, down to one model now. Desperately trying to repair it. Can't afford to lose that squad. Oh, gets reinforced just in the nick of time. Here comes the Sherman though. Oh, Pathfinder's going down, but the Brumbier goes down to the Sherman, penetrates it frontally. Bazooka's charging forwards. And this is something Skeletron's not very well prepared for. Where are his snaring squads? I'm coming in from the side, trying to back in that direction now. Oh, Sherman bounces a crucial shot. Could allow the Striggy to escape here. Skeletron still with a tremendous amount of manpower spare. Could build an AT gun to counter this. But he seems to have an allergy to them. Harris could get the wipe here on retreat. Sherman's still chasing in after the Striggy. Striggy getting a couple of shots in though. A little bit of damage. Stops backing away. And the bazookas finish the job. Unable to chase down here either, getting suppressed. I think he would require 2 Fausts to kill it from that amount of health anyway. Yeah, they announced the 75 VPs left for scope, but I feel like he has weathered the storm here. Skeletron still with a decent sized infantry army, but doesn't match up terribly well against scopes. He's got all these machine guns, which are going to be hard to evade on a map like this. 3 machine guns. Is finally going for some Panzer Grenadiers. Should probably go for an AT gun as well.
Enemy is flanking. Combat promotion. Counter fire.
Oh man, that's risky jumping into that building at that amount of health. Sherman's still getting repaired though. Might end up working out. MG goes down. Scope gonna run around the corner, go for the recapture on that. Here come the P-Greens though. Trying to move into the retreat path, maybe go for the wipe, but the P-Greens stops just... Whoa! Goes for Shreks. Okay.
The capture point is being overrun. Sherman, taking fire!
I was like, yes, you know, he's going to have some P-Greens that are going to be running around, flanking behind the machine guns. This is going to be good, but... No, get some Shreks on them. Actually, Sherman's pretty good against Shrek squads. Oh man, he's jumping into that super low building. Sherman quite close this time. Okay, just cycling through it. Really hope he doesn't get in there again. Skeletron getting close to another Brumbier. Still with like 1,000 manpower float here though. He does have tier 2 down. You know, we saw a million light vehicles from it earlier this game. Just refuses to get an anti-tank gun. Very, very confusing. Could probably also do with the machine gun himself, which would help block scoped out of some of these victory point scenarios. Sometimes some of the best ways to deal with machine guns are your own machine guns. Because the machine guns can't really push forwards without running into your machine gun firing first. Yeah, well, we all saw that one coming, didn't we? Oh, bazookas on those pyros. They're falling fast. On retreat now, could get wiped by the Sherman. The Strooper coming in for the chain Faust. He's just moving them around in a blob here. Gonna get them suppressed. Pyros do manage to get away though. So that's something. Yeah, moving to put some pressure on the VPs.
Ambulance ready for action.
Another ambulance for Scott finally. Wow, he managed to run just like right through the machine gun's arc all the way around the corner. Slight mistake there from Scope not switching targets earlier. He's still in a pretty good position. And it's going to be a Panther from Skeletron. The issue here is they just don't have a solution to this triple machine gun spam. I don't know if I can call it spam, since I think one of them is a stolen MG42. Bazooka right there. Going in for the crush a little bit. Here come the Shreks. What is Skeletron doing? Are we trying to bait him for a Fausting squad? I'm not sure. Suppressed on the far side. Another machine gun over here for the capture. Scott picks that up. Okay, we'll see away that machine gun, but there's another one not far behind it. Paras are there also. Finally, can afford the upgrade on them. This good spell of munitions control he's had. Here comes the Panther though. This could be trouble for Scopes. Oh, no. It's an M20 mine. I didn't see that there. Oh man, must have been there forever. Now he's immobilized. Send the bazooka IREs over there, and that should be GG. Can Skeletron somehow save the day? He's frantically building more pyos. But no pyos available for repairs anytime soon. And this is where a machine gun could really come in handy, just covering the Panther from the incoming anti-infantry, or anti-tank infantry rather. Just where a machine gun suppressing and pinning this would be incredibly helpful, in fact crucial. And I didn't manage to get the machine gun upgrade on the Panther either, so I can barely scratch these bazooka rear echelon here. Pyos here now though. And they do manage to force back the bazooka rear echelon finally. And that's a lot of repairs. 4 squads of Pyos should actually be able to get the repairs done here, I think. Or maybe no, the machine gun coming across was scoped. Could also, oh no, he just spent some more munitions, but could have activated the frag bombs there. He made 3 cluster bombs rather. Doesn't look like he's going to need to though. Suppression coming in. And these guys are tumbling 2 squads down so quickly. Appearing under fire, super dangerous. And he didn't quite get the Panther back to full strength. Might come in for a snare here just to make sure he can't repair off that tiny bit of extra damage until the bazookas arrive, and they're finally back up to full, coming forwards once more. And here comes a second Sherman for Scopes. The other one's still on the flank, stopping those last 50 VPs from draining, but this one looks like it might be heading towards the Panther. Get on the rear armor here, should be able to do some nice damage, especially with the bazookas there. Stuggy coming in for Skeletron though, a desperation play from him. And good connection on the bazooka REs. Panther switching over to prioritized vehicles. Screwing off on the Sherman. Stuggy doing some good damage to the REs. Can he keep this Panther alive? Oh, that's a big shot. Stuggy does force back a few of these units coming in for some repairs, but you can't afford to do that with the M1919 Paras there, just ripping through the Pyos, losing another squad. Sherman goes down, going for a base chase, I'm not sure, but Shreks and a whole bunch of Fausts are in there. Ends up losing it.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Trying to go for some more repairs on the Panther, but interrupted again. Oh, and the Sherman getting some lucky shots through the front. He taking some damage, however. Machine gun gets decrewed frontally by just a huge blob. He's got machine guns on machine guns.
A capture point is under attack.
This time it doesn't look like they're going to get it through. Pyro's coming out, but on 2 men. Not going to get many repairs done. Here come the bazookas, looking to finish the job. This time, bit 3, so they got 5 men. Struggy doing some good damage. Pushing them back.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
And the machine gun goes down over here for scoped. I think he was trying to soft retreat it. Oh, bazooka REs take a huge shot from the Struggy as they rounded the corner. There's so much damage. I think Ostheer and squad went down here in the center. Paris coming around the corner, interrupting the repairs again. Good connection from the Struggy though, forcing them back. O's on the repair. Sherman back up to full strength though. I think he still needs 3 hits to kill the Panther from this amount of health though. Bounces that shot. Machine gun's doing some good damage to the repairing Pyres however.
The enemy is overrunning one
So
of our
repairs
capture
very,
points.
very slow on that number of models. Probably should just retreat the 1-man squad here. Got some reinforcements coming through. This is a desperate hold here for Skeletron. He's finally spent through that 1,200 or so manpower float he had for most of the game.
Consolidate our forces. We're left with 50 points.
50 VPs left for scoped. He's losing control of the VPs. Panther still alive. Oh, big connection. Gonna run to the Shreks here though. Big damage. Can he get the Ostheer? No. He's making a dash for the VPs now though. I'm going to jump out for some repairs. Panther just about up to full. Looks like he is going to be able to repair this here. The Struggy must have been the right choice because it's done a real good job against these bazooka REs and the machine guns.
They got us down.
Allowed him to hold on to this Panther. I thought that was dead for sure. Good connection.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
There's in trouble. Jackson in production for Scott. He's got enough munitions for the MA3 cluster bombs as well. Panther charging in here. Bazooka RE's not coming across to assist. They're targeting the Strug E, which is taking some good damage. Scott needs VP under his control though. He's losing control of the center. Squad went down over here. Maybe about to lose the Peregrines. Retreating. Panther taking some big damage on the rear armor. Peregrines do get away though. MA3 cluster bombs coming into the center. This could be huge. 17 VPs left for scoped. Not too big. Bows forced away. Oh, rifleman coming in from the side. No AT grenade there quite. He's pulling back for repairs. Worth noting as well, Skeletron low on VPs also went down to 104. Zooks are out of there. I'm surprised that this Pyre squad kind of look like they're backing away for repairs, but they end up coming through to the center. Instead of blocking the capture in the center, they could have done that a lot earlier. Slight mistake there from Skeletron. He also went for a Struggy, but now that the Jackson's on the field, it's going to be a lot harder to make use of these. It seems like most of the decrewed team weapons are on Scope's side at the moment, so he's got one 50 cal over here that he could capture. And that's about it. Going for the neutralize on the far side. Strooping going for the cap on this side, but 1919 Paras going to take care of them pretty quickly. So with this 50, gets the neutralize though. Maybe forgotten about this squad. Late retreat. And goes down. Skeletron running on fumes here.
75 points.
Yeah, then it's a 75 left for Skeletron. But here comes the Jackson. Scott feeling in a comfortable position now to start pushing all the way to base. He's got a lot of bazooka REs and support as well. Forces Skeletron almost completely off the map here. 11 VPs remaining. I think he's got it. Peagrin's trying to come through. Grenade manages to connect actually. Might be able to wipe this machine gun, go for the capture.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
Here comes the
points.
Jackson though. Panther quite low. Panther does have the skirts. Here come the bazooka REs. Coming around this corner. I think that's a good plan from Scopes. If all these bazookas connect here. Well, I don't think a single one penetrated, but that could have been the end of the Panther. Now he's just chasing in aggressively after the low health Panther. Stuggy coming through the center.
Trying to outflank us.
Oof.
Continue the push. They have
Stuggy gonna go down here very, very quickly. And Skeletron throws in the towel. Oof, hectic game this one. Skeletron was such a huge lead. A really strong start from him, aided by Scope losing that lieutenant. Just put Scope way, way behind. But Skeletron just refusing to get a pack at any stage in this game. I think it just cost him the match. Pack against the M20 Stuart Greyhound combo would have been so helpful. You know, the pack can dish out the first hit or two, and then 222s can chase in for the kill. I think that's the way to go. But yeah, just never getting an AT gun this entire match. Been close to 1200 float for a good like 20 or so minutes this match. Not getting Peagrins in an anti-infantry role. Just so many mistakes from Skeletron this game. But overall a pretty entertaining match. As for Scoped, he got his Pathfinders at an unusual time when he's facing mainly light vehicles. Don't really like getting the Pathfinders in that scenario. But he managed to battle back from a very, very bad situation, which is admirable. It's like forced off the map, had almost no control. Way behind on VPs. Impressive to battle back from that position. I'll wrap on that, guys. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye, and good luck.